Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be previewing this coming Saturday's meeting here from Fanny Bay in Darwin, which of course is the 10th of May. The Darwin Cup Carnival is just around the corner, and this meeting is the first of two in the top end in May, a fortnight apart, before the action turns to weekly racing from the 7th of June, King's Birthday weekend. 5 races have been carded this week, with the first time to jump at 3:07 p.m. and the last at 5:25 p.m. In the opener, the Carnival Tickets on Sale Handicap, a 0 to 58 event over the 1300 metres. My numbers are 2, 5 and 6. Found this a tricky race. In fact, I found a few of them tricky on this card, but went with 2, 5 and 6. 2 on top for me, Sabor, trained by Jason Manning, Vanessa Arnott in the saddle. Last start third I thought was pretty good. That was here on the 12th of April, so about 4 weeks ago. That was behind Rhesus. Beaten 3.5 on that occasion, but I thought Sabor's last 3 runs point to a winning turn shortly. He's had a 5th, a 4th and a 3rd his last 3. So I put him on top, number 2, Sabor. Ahead of number 5, Kessler from the Angie Forster stable, and Paul Shire's aboard. Sharesy rode this horse last time out, went 3rd and first up. That was on the 19th of April behind King Waldo. Beaten 2.3, but I thought it was a good performance first up from a break and should be improved for that. And in for 3rd, number 6, Super Defence. Another one whose last 3 starts have been good, a 3rd, a 4th and a last start 2nd to Tannenberg. That was in Class 2 company here on Anzac Day. Sonia Logan takes them out here for Tayan Holter. I thought that run was good enough to figure in the finish here. So numbers in the first are 2, 5 and 6. The second's the Bet365 handicap, this over the 1200 metres for the 0 to 70 sprinters. Might only be a field of half a dozen, but it's an even little lineup and a good race in store. Numbers here, 3, 5 and 4. Went with Bonds Your Back, the last start winner for Chris Pollard, and Paul Shires goes aboard this time. Hannah LeBlanc rode last time the horse won on the 19th of April. That was in benchmark 76 grade, so actually drops back in grade. But Hannah this time is riding it beyond ready. But I've gone with Bonds Your Back. I thought it was a good win last time out. It's only had the 3 starts in Darwin for 2/3 and a win. No reason to suggest it won't be very hard to beat again. In for second, number 5, American Jazz, for Gary Clark and Jared Todd. He comes off a last start win here on Anzac Day. That was in benchmark 54 company, so he's back up in grade. But at his best, he certainly is competitive in a 0 to 70. His last start win was beating Global Wonder, and he bolted it on that occasion. 4.5 lengths the margin. That was 1200 metres. This is 1200. He should be right in it again. And in for 3rd, number 4, the stablemate Straya Pride. Gary Clark and Aaron Sweeney combine here. Also a last start winner. In fact, there's only had 3 starts in Darwin for 2 wins, Straya Pride. And a last start win here over Devil's Delight in 0 to 64 grade I thought was good, and should be in the finish again. Numbers in race 2 are 3, 5 and 4. We go to the 3rd. It's the Silks Sunday Carvery handicap. Of course, Mother's Day this Sunday, so I'm sure that Silks Carvery will be up and about for all the mothers out for Mother's Day. Numbers here in this 1100 metre benchmark 76, so the highest grade race of the day, are 2, 1 and 4. Once again, good race in store with some smart horses here and a smart newcomer to keep an eye on. But I went with Rising Sphere. He's been there, done that for Gary Clark. Adam Nichols in the saddle. He resumed here on the 28th of March. He finished 2nd behind Siakam on that occasion. Should be improved. He's a specialist at the 1100. He's won 5 times over the trip, and I thought Rising Sphere would be very hard to beat here in the 3rd. In for 2nd, the obvious danger, number 1, Bonds Pride, for Jason Manning and Vanessa Arnott. He's had 3 starts at this distance of 1100 and he hasn't won. He's had 3 seconds. He's more of a specialist, I believe, over 1300, but got to start his campaign somewhere. He hasn't raced since the 14th of December. So Jason kicking him off here over the 11, and I'm sure he'll put in a good showing. He always does. And my 3rd selection, number 4, Mr. Have a Chat. Another horse that never really goes a bad race. Chris Nash trains, and Hannah LeBlanc in the saddle. His last start 3rd was behind Siakam on the 28th of March, so he's had a bit of a freshen up, and he's drawn to be right on the pace in barrier 2. The one I was mentioning earlier as a newcomer is number 5, Galaxy General. Now, he's a newcomer to the Gary Clark stable. Jared Todd rides him. He's won 6 times from 29 starts in Queensland, and he's won all 6 on the synthetic tracks there at the Sunshine and the Gold Coast. So keep an eye on him first start in the territory. But my numbers in the 3rd are 2, 1 and 4. We go to the 4th, the DCOH Trobus Maiden Plate for the non-winners. It's over the 1100 as well. And my numbers here are 3, 4 and 2. Going with number 3, Fly. a newcomer to Darwin, a newcomer to the Clark stable, and Adam Nichols in the saddle. Saw this horse trial on Tuesday and was given a nice quiet trial by Chippy. Finished second in the trial, but I think there's certainly plenty of improvement to come. He's only had the 3 starts in Victoria, ran 7th at Mornington, then a 2nd at Kilmore and a 3rd at Bendigo. Bendigo form is pretty good form for Darwin, and he's a maiden, obviously. He's a 3-year-old, and he'd be looking to get a win on the board, I'm sure, with the Carnival 3-year-old features not far away. So I'm going with number 3, Fly. To beat number 4, Vieri, another 3-year-old, this one from the Chris Nash stable, and Sonia Logan in the saddle. Just the one start in Darwin, finished 2nd behind the stablemate Little Brazen. That was back on the 19th of April. Did a good job, I thought, and made some ground late. 1100 last time, 1100 again. Maybe wants a little bit further now, but has to be in the mix. And number 2, Tugela Falls, my 3rd selection for Paul Shires, trainer and rider. Better run last time. He finished 2nd to Miami Vice. That was in a 0 to 58. So dropping back to the maiden grade and getting close to a breakthrough win, the 4-year-old by Hallowed Crown. Numbers in the 4th, 3, 4 and 2. And the last, the BTC Constructions Handicap. It's over the 1100 metres for the 0 to 64 gallopers. And another decent race to finish the card. 8 runners to go around here. My numbers are 3, 5 and 1. Went with the resuming She Can Mix It from the stable of Chloe Baxter, Raymond Viger in the saddle. Last start, that was on the 15th of March, so he's had not quite 2 months between runs, but prior to that had won her previous 2, She Can Mix It, so she was in a good vein of form. She finished 5th last time out, only beaten 2.5 lengths behind Mr. Have a Chat. That was in 0 to 70 grade, so drops back to a 64, and she goes well in a fresh state. So I've got her on top, number 3. To beat 5, Zoo Mist, Ange Forster, Paul Shires, the combo. Fresh up on the 19th of April, in a good race for 3rd. That was behind Straya Pride, beaten just a tick over half a length. And she's a pretty handy mare on her day, Zoo Mist, so I had her right in the mix here. And then for 3rd, number 1, Devil's Delight. He's just dying to win a race for the Clark stable. Jared Todd aboard. 2/3 and a 2nd his last 3 runs, and the 2nd placing on the 19th of April was behind Straya Pride, and he went down by a nose. So he's has to be in your multiples, and my numbers in the last are 3, 5 and 1. Best bet on what I thought was a pretty tough day all round in race 3, number 2, Rising Sphere. Class act, he is Rising Sphere. He's won a good number of races in Darwin, including the Montgomery Lightning on Cup Day last year during the Carnival. So race 3, number 2, my best, Rising Sphere. Well, the best roughie in race 4, number 8, Red Extreme in the maiden. Look for some improvement out of Red Extreme. Race 4, number 8, Red Extreme. That wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk. We now have a fortnight until our next meeting back here in the Top End, which will be Saturday the 24th of May. In between times, the annual 2 Cups race day in Tennant Creek in the Barclay is held next week, of course. So tune into that on Sky 2. Should be a great day, as it always is. And until next time, good luck and good punting.